Welcome back, everyone. I am down here today picking blackberries in one of my blackberry patches. These kind of came up wild. I normally brush hog the field, but I left a few of these patches, just let them go, basically be on their own. And this year they're yielding quite a few blackberries. So I'm going to be down here this evening. It's a little bit cooler now. The sun is about to go down, and I'll see how many blackberries we can get picked today. I don't think there's anything better than some good old wild blackberries. They have a little bit of a punch to them. Got a little bucket down here on the ground. They're really good. The plants get out of hand sometimes a little bit. I try to keep them in check. When I do mow, I kind of mow around them, keep them from they'll take over the whole field, which is great, but you can't really get in and pick many blackberries when they're taking over the whole field. So you see there's an awful lot of red ones still, but I'm just going through and getting these ripe ones. Nothing good better than good old blackberries. My mom makes one mean blackberry pie, so I'll probably pick a bunch of these, make a couple pies out of them, maybe make a blackberry milkshake some evening. There's a lot of things you can do with these. You can make jam. That might be a good idea too. We'll see how many I get. A lot of times this time of year, they'll come out really good. You can see all of them. But then it dries up a lot of times before they really ripen completely. So we'll see how many we can get picked here tonight. Whoops. They are pretty mean things though, if you're not careful. This is definitely a job for long jeans, and long sleeve shirt wouldn't be a bad idea, but I find it sometimes easier just to wear a t-shirt and then be careful. Of course, it's pretty warm out also tonight. You know, these blackberries that kind of grow wild like this are really beneficial thing to have on your property. They're free food and a very good food. Lots of nutrients in them, and almost always you'll find rabbits bedded down, you know, underneath there to keep away from coyotes and the like. Find somewhere to sit. And so yeah, they're a good thing to have around. They're free. They grow prolifically. If you find a good spot that has plenty of sun, they'll come up on their own. All you got to do is just basically take care of them a little bit. Last year there wasn't a real good crop. They started really good, but then I think it just dried up so quick. A lot of them died. I don't think it was last year. Year before last, I was, funny story, I was picking blackberries up by the house, and there was a big sheet metal piece of tin sitting up on some pallets, and I was standing on the tin trying to get as close to the edge of the blackberry patch as I could, and I had my shorts on, which wasn't smart on my part, and the metal, I didn't realize I was off the edge of the pallet. The metal flipped up and I slid, luckily feet first, right into the blackberry patch. I was sore for several days. It had me tore up. So shame on me for wearing shorts, I guess. And wasn't real smart trying to reach for that last blackberry, But there's quite a few out here tonight. We'll see how many we can get picked. If you can see them. Hey, got a pretty good haul of blackberries. Only about half of the ripe ones I can even get to, but I mean, there are so many red ones. I bet there's not 3 or 4% that are even black yet. Normally I run my brush hog around the outside, so I'm not having to deal with chest deep grass. I haven't got around to that yet this year. I need to do that. I have another blackberry patch down in what we call the horse field, and I did run the regular mower around that today, so we'll go head down there next and see what we can find. I see another little blackberry bush over here. Looks like there's some ripe ones on there too. Hey, what do you know? Bonus one here that I kind of forgot was even here, so we'll see how many we can get from here. Okay, might be some rain moving in. It's getting kind of dark. I'll see. I'll probably be able to get a few blackberries picked out of this patch. As you can see, I kind of mowed a path around this one, so it's a little easier to get to. I don't see a lot of ripe ones yet, but there's an awful lot of red ones in there. So I'll see if I can find some black ones, some ripe ones. If not, we'll head on. Okay, I didn't get a whole lot of blackberries out of that patch. There's a few, handful or two, but there's thousands of red ones. So hopefully the rain keeps up. We've had a pretty wet year so far. If the rain keeps up, I should get a lot of blackberries out of there. I want to show you something else we have growing wild here on the homestead. This here is a wild cherry tree. And I've had a few of the cherries. Usually they barely produce anything. They're not like what you see in the store. And they are tart. Let me see if I can find a little bundle of them. Like there. Oh, that's way up. It has a little bit of a cherry flavor. It's mainly just really tart. But they are edible. There's a few little, you can see the little pods of them. Yeah, wild cherry. Those go around here wild. And you know, this is going to be a traipse through the woods, but I also have over here plum, some wild plum, which I have not even been down here this year yet to check out. We'll see if there's any plums or not this year. Here, if you can see, it's kind of hard to see. Let's see, back out a little bit, is a wild plum tree. And I don't know if I'm just too late this year or if it didn't produce this year. But oftentimes we will get plums off of here. Once again, they're small. They're not like what you think of when you think of buying plums in the store. I wish I could find one on here to show y'all. But I don't see any. I may have been just too late this year. Or last year we had lots of blooms, but not a whole lot of plums. I think the wild animals also figure out where this stuff is. But yeah, little grove here of wild plum trees. Okay, making our way up to the house. I just want to kind of disclaimer here. If you're picking wild edibles, blackberries, plums, cherries, I also have some black raspberries growing around here. If you're not absolutely 100% sure of what you're picking, my best bet has always been to go with someone who knows what they're doing. Because for me, looking at a picture in a book never seems to look the same to me. You really have to go with someone who has done that before. Just be certain what you're picking. There are berries and different things out there that are poisonous. And if you're not 100% sure, you can get yourself in some trouble. Plus, you know, there may be something that you've never ate before that isn't poisonous, but you could be allergic to it. So anytime you're foraging edibles in the wild, if you are 100% sure but you've never had it before, still a good idea to maybe just a very small piece, just to make sure you're not allergic to it or something. You just don't know. So anyway, I've got one more blackberry patch up here, plus a few smaller ones, but it's getting dark and looking like it could rain. So we're gonna go up here, check out this other patch, see if we can get a few more blackberries. Okay, here is the last blackberry patch, the big one anyway. This is up basically in my yard, and I've kind of left it, but it's sort of getting out of hand a little bit. It's getting pretty big. But before I start picking that, I think we need to go check the chickens, make sure they're all up in the coop for the night, close the door for them. They'll usually go in on their own, but I do need to close the door. Only on the weekends when I'm home do I let them run. Otherwise, they're always in the fenced-in area. It's kind of dark in here, but yeah, it's really dark in here. I don't know if you can see, but they're all in here. Let's see. And we'll see how many eggs I got. 3. That's pretty typical. I've got 4 hens, and I get 3 pretty much every day consistently. Occasionally only 2 and sometimes 4, just depending on how they end up, the cycle of laying eggs goes. But so we'll have a pretty good haul. We'll have some blackberries and some eggs. Okay, got them all shut in for the night. Make sure our door is locked. I also swing this shut just so if an animal tried to get around it, they would have a hard time because it can't open because of this. Knock on wood, I have not had any real issues with predators. I did lose a rooster about 3 months ago. They were out running in the yard and I had to run to town real quick. When I got back, the rooster was missing. I found its remains and down in the woods, and I don't really know what got it. I do have a neighbor that has dogs, and I'm thinking possibly one of their dogs came up and got it. I'm really not sure though. I can't really say for sure. But anyway, we'll check out these blackberries, see if I can get a few more tonight. Looks like we might be blowing up a storm here. I wanted to kind of show you something real quick I noticed. These are all blackberries, okay? See this whiter stalk? These stalks here that are whiter, those are raspberry. You can see the leaves are different. Whoops, that's a weed. But you can see the leaves are different on the raspberry and than it is the blackberry. Now I don't see any growing on here, possibly next year. I have some wild raspberry growing along my driveway, but I think the birds beat me to all of them this year. But one of the birds must have last year come over here and pooped while he was eating blackberries. And I got a little raspberry bush starting, which I like those even better than the blackberry. They just don't grow as prolific around here. Alrighty. Let's see what our haul is here. How many we got? Oops. See, there's 2 cups. Looks like about 3 cups or so of blackberries. Yep, looks like we got about 3 cups of blackberries. What I'll usually do is just put these in the refrigerator and pick for a few days, because those will be every 3 or 4 days I can go out and pick more. And then when I see how many I get, maybe we'll make some blackberry pie, maybe some muffins, or we could do milkshake, something like that with them. Or we could, if I got enough this year, we could even go into making some jam. But that and the 3 eggs today. So we got like dessert and some protein today. So anyway, that's about all we got for this week. I just kind of wanted to take you along as I was picking some blackberries. And hope y'all have a great one, and hope to see y'all down the trail.